beautiful souls. Reverend Jess, Intuitive Angel Healer here, was spoken like an angel. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday today. I asked Spirit what messages I should share with you today, and these messages I got directed to my past life deck, and these cards fell out. And I'm not big on doing, I don't usually do a lot of love readings, but this is more of a healing love reading that Spirit wants me to do. This isn't about, who's gonna be your next boo. Although when you do heal these things, this will help you bring in your new boo, because you have baby here, phobias, love life, and then karmic relationship. And karmic relationship is upside down. And if you look at it this way, you can see on here that there is a soldier and a woman. And so ultimately, Spirit wants you to know the message is that you were a product. If this is your message, and this isn't going to resonate with everyone, so take it back to Spirit and to God to see if it's your message. But ultimately, there's a few of you out here. If you're watching this right now, you were a secret child of a karmic relationship, and it had to do with your parents. I'm hearing they were born in the 50s. Now, there's some other ones that the parents could have been born in the 30s, but these parents were born in the 50s is what I'm seeing. And this soldier energy, they basically hooked up with a soldier or somebody that is connected to, the military. And back in the day when they had children that they weren't supposed to be having, it was a big deal. So this has been a secret your whole life that you didn't know about. And Spirit really wants me to dive into this because ultimately this is giving you a lot of phobias. And you're like, why do I have these crazy phobias like anxiety, and sometimes don't even want to go outside the house? And it has to do with this karmic relationship and things that happened to you when you were a baby is what I'm hearing. And right before I turned this on, I heard the Judds. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. And I'm sorry, Naomi, if I'm not singing that the greatest, because I'm not a singer, but go listen to that song, because this has to do with a grandmother. This came in strong. You have a grandmother that was very against this karmic relationship, and she is in spirit now. And one thing is that she feels guilty that she never told you the truth, and ultimately took it to her grave. She can't tell you now. That's part of her being able to be at peace, and is to have you find out the truth and help give you courage. Just you can see her wearing a yellow shirt, because yellow is all about courage and your solar plexus healing. A lot of this karmic relationship, all these things that have happened in this circle of life, has caused you to deplete your courage, because also other people that are part of this time era that are still alive, but they're much older now, and they just don't want it to be exposed. But Spirit is saying it's going to be exposed this lifetime, because it's not, the secret can't keep being taken to the grave. So this grandmother, and I'm hearing Irene is one that came in pretty, and Priscilla, I'm hearing, came in pretty strong too. And Denise. So this grandmother can't let it go, because it can't go another cycle, because it's really ruining things. for you, and it's destroying your love life. And if you've been having issues with your love life and you just can't figure out why you keep attracting the wrong people, it's because of this karmic relationship down here. It's unhealed. You have to know the truth for it to be healed, because if not, you're going the lesson is being stored in your DNA, and ultimately you're just passing it down. And this is going to heal your whole lineage when this truth finally comes out, and you're going to start feeling like you're enough, because there was a lot of gaslighting and narcissist energy around this that made you not feel like you were enough, that put you down. And they also put you in this mindset to not trust yourself, because again, this is part of the gaslighting. They didn't want you to find this out, because if you found this out, then you would expose them. And then these are people that were in sororities. I'm being shown that Masonic energy. So they were in a lot of clubs. They were teachers. They were, PTA members. They had a lot of social things going on that regarded them in high standard in their community. And if this secret got out, they thought it would just destroy them, because they ultimately chose to be more worried about their social, how their social status was, versus how their life was. And a lot of these mothers and grandmothers took this, or are, you have a mother out there taking this guilt to the grave, and her life's already karmic and destroyed, and she's going through a lot of health issues, a lot of addiction issues. I'm being shown they're close to 70. So the grandmother is part of, I think it's called the greatest generation. That's where, and then it even goes to a great grandmother. So there's like 3 generations of women here that this just kept getting passed down to, and it just kept coming in, recycling into a different scene. So even though your grandparents and great grandparents, they seem like, I'm hearing church going and positive members of society, they had a lot of dark secrets that they didn't share with you out there. And their solar plexus was very weak. They just couldn't tell the truth, because they didn't, so they hid it. And they all networked with each other in these religious groups, in these social groups, these friend groups and work groups, because that's what their loyalty meant to each other is, I'll take that. I'll take that with my dying breath. So I don't feel like they're going to exactly tell you the truth at this point, but spirit is going to be letting you know. And if you've been having some crazy dreams about parents, grandparents, right, these past couple weeks during Mercury retrograde, spirit wants you to know it's for a reason, because that's how spirit's talking to you, especially this grandmother. And I see that she likes to send butterflies, hummingbirds, especially. I swear I just heard a hummingbird. That's crazy. She likes to send birds, so birds, feathers, butterflies, hummingbirds. If you let me know if this is resonating with you. Again, this isn't everybody's message. This is, I set the intention for this to go out to specific people that are going through this. And I'm hearing identity crisis. So if you've been going through an identity crisis, it may be because the identity that you've been living your 40, 50, 60 years is not your own. It's one that's been created that was never your own to begin with. A lot of shadow work is needed around this. And Naomi Judd is coming back in. She likes to come around my readings. And the song Love Can Build a Bridge. Well, if you know anything about, I wrote a tribute to them on my Medium account. And also I found out that Wynonna found out that she had another dad that her mom didn't tell her about until it was too late. I think he was going to come and see her or something, and it destroyed her because she didn't get to speak to him because she was told this other person was her dad. That's a similar situation going on. Look up the biography. That Wynonna and Naomi Judd are very interesting. I love their story because Naomi went through a lot of toxic relationships, but she tried, and she may not have done things right. She may have covered up a few things, but I feel like she had Wynonna's best interest at the end of the day because she wanted to help her dream succeed. So it's like, as a mother, I'm hearing she did what she had to do to provide. And a lot of us, I feel like there's a lot of you out there that are just doing what you have to do to provide. And some of us feel like, or we're taught that holding secrets is the best way for everybody. And spirit wants you to know it's not. And these grandmothers in spirit, especially. Interesting, there's a Naomi in spirit, a grandmother, and Bertha. I'm hearing a Bertha and Madeline. So let me know if that's any of your grandmothers, because they, and Emily, I'm getting all these names now, and Laura, they want you to know that they're coming through to, it's okay, you can tell the truth. You can learn the truth. If you don't want to expose everyone, that's fine, but you need to know the truth. And you can work that out with your spirit guides, because you don't, necessarily have to go put everyone on blast, or you can put everyone on blast, but it is not your cross to bear anymore, because you didn't create this karmic relationship. Your mother did. And some of you, your mother was your aunt, because your real mother paid your aunt. It's like there's a whole there's an even deeper level to this, is that you had an aunt raise you and she portrayed to be your mom. So let me know if that resonates with you too. And I'm hearing very strongly that if it does resonate with you and you've been thinking about going and getting a DNA test, go do it. Because the only thing holding you back from doing it is fear of the truth, fear that, it may wreck you. And just let you know, I've went through a similar thing, and it's not going to wreck you. The truth will set you free, but holding on to a whole painted lie that's not yours is not going to set anything free. It's just going to burden you, and you're going to keep that burden. And then if you have a daughter, especially any child, but especially a daughter, you're going to hand that burden right down, and then she's going to go through the whole cycle of toxic relationships. And you could save her a lot of hassle by just speaking the truth. If I'm telling you, people would have spoke the truth to me when I was 12, especially. That's a number that's coming in. A teenager between 8 and 12 is when you were supposed to find this out, and everybody was having a good time living off your money. For one reason is why they didn't step forward, and another is a lot of them just were like, nobody's found out, so nobody's ever going to find out, and I'll just keep it to myself. And now it's like I'm seeing that you have kids, and your kid may even be a teenager right now. And it's important it's just like at this stage, it's a critical stage that they need to know this truth, because they're developing into a young lady or a young man. And if you're building them on a false foundation with lies, then that whole foundation's going to topple. And that's why people have midlife crises, or they have addiction issues. So save yourself the heartbreak of going through all these addiction issues, because 9 times out of 10, it's because it boils down to a self-love issue is what I'm seeing. All right, let me know if that is resonating with you. This grandmother is definitely saying stop and smell the roses. Stop pushing yourself so hard, because you were meant to be happy, and now you have the power to create your own happiness. And also, your angels want you to know having God in your boat doesn't mean you won't face any storms. It just means no storms will sink your boat. So you are most likely a chosen one and highly anointed, is what I'm hearing, and an empath. And this is part of your soul contract that you signed up for, because it's like God sent in his special ones to clear out the energy that nobody else would take on the karmic lesson and actually learn it. So you're like the ace in the hole. You don't have any fear to take this on, but some of you don't know that this was what you're supposed to take on, because the abuse from the narcissism has programmed you so much that you're thinking, oh, I'm supposed to cover this, and you're not supposed to cover this, because it's like your test right now. God's giving you a chance to stand in your power and take your power back, because if you don't, I mean, you have free will choice, but if you decide not to and to try to cover this up, it's not going to be covered up anymore. And then you're going to have to repeat this whole cycle again, because a lot of those ancestors that did this and that participated in this are they're going to have to reincarnate and come back down here and try it again in a different form. And I personally don't ever want to come back here and redo any of these lessons that I've learned, because I've had enough fun lessons, karmic lessons, to last a lifetime. Thank you. I told my spirit guides that I'm going to learn all my karmic lessons. I'm going to finish my soul mission, and I'm coming back as a spirit guide next time if I'm coming back to Earth. So you do have this free will and choice, but it's about you. You can't break the cycle, and you can't finish your mission and fulfill it if you don't learn the lesson and you don't integrate it. And it's like you came here to fluff up some feathers. But in the bigger perspective, do you want to be loyal to a narcissist who's going to give you love and then take it back? Or do you want to be loyal to your soul and your whole karmic lineage? Because by you integrating and learning these lessons, you're actually setting your ancestors free. And I'm being shown that a lot of you have ancestors connected to the Salem witch hunt, and at that time period where they were shamans. I'm specifically seeing a medicine woman, and they weren't allowed to share their gift. If they shared their gift of healing, then they were called a witch, and then they were a lot of impersonation, a lot of senseless deaths happened because of this, and they're sharing their gifts to you. So if you're like, I feel like I have these gifts, but I haven't stepped in my power yet, well, that's why you've got to integrate this lesson, because your full power and gifts aren't going to be fully given to you until you come to a point of learning this lesson. That's kind of the catch-22. And that's part of your shadow healing work that you're going through right now. I'm also seeing Matthew 7:1, thou shalt not judge. Do not judge, or you will be judged too. So this is a part of your karmic lesson, of especially from this grandmother. She judged this karmic relationship so much that they did drastic measures, and they went and hid this child thinking it would never resurface. But that's not, it's like you tried to cheat the game, and you can't cheat the game. Unfortunately, a lot of darkness has altered their mind and their ways of thinking, so they're not the original people that you grew up with. And Spirit is saying thoughts are things. So you were connecting just by thinking of this issue. So you really need to be intentional with your thoughts right now. And what are your thoughts putting out there in the universe? Because you're unconsciously manifesting some things that you don't need to go through. You've learned a lot of lessons, but now you just really need to focus on healing your sacral chakra, and that's where all your emotions are stored, and your solar plexus, which is where your courage is. Your solar plexus is right in between your navel and your ribs. So I'm seeing a lot of purple too. I don't know if your grandmother wore, like, I'm seeing purple dresses. So I don't know if your grandmother wore a lot of dresses or if purple is her favorite color. I'm also hearing garnet. So I feel like garnet is, I think it's a stone. Don't quote me. I think it's a red one. I think it has to do with July too. Let's get a couple of messages on personalities, a little bit more of your grandmother here. Your grandmother, I'm hearing your grandfather. They're showing me your grandfather loved comics. And your grandmother, unfortunately, was in wounded feminine energy. She sacrificed herself for toxic relationships with your grandfather, and that's how your mom ended up going into this karmic relationship. And this grandmother ends up seeking validation through people, places, and things. So I'm hearing this particular grandmother did a lot with her. She ran away from her karmic relationship, and it's like she put on a front for everyone, and because it was a religious community. And this has to do with her dad. What else can we say about the mother? I'm hearing Cuban. I don't know. And they're showing me a Gen Y, 27 to 40 years old, and Pisces energy. I'm also hearing they loved art and painting. And then I'm hearing that song Fallen Angel by Poison. Lose big, mama's fallen angel. Win big, living on life. So I'm feeling like these are a combination of your mom and your grandmother. Like maybe your mom partook of the Mary Jane. They're showing me Leo energy, and they're showing me Kylie Jenner, whose birthday is August 10th, 1997. I feel like maybe your mom was a socialite, or she tried to be with your grandmother. That's what but she's very sneaky and secretive. And they're showing me a parole officer, and then they're showing me this Pisces energy again. And then I'm hearing this earth element energy too. So I feel like this could be to do with your dad's grandma too. So I feel like you have two grandmas in here. The dad's grandma was an earth element. So that's what is that? Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And they're showing me helicopter parent. This dad's grandma is saying, do your best and God and your angels will do the rest. And they're showing me a platoon sergeant. So again, this is that military karmic relationship. I feel like your dad's mom was also in a relationship, either married, or this might have been her sneaky relationship that she was in with a military person on the down low. Because they're showing me platoon sergeant. I'm hearing love theater and acting, and they're showing me Shirley Temple and Conveniently enough, Shirley Temple is a Taurus, April 23, 1928, and she was a child actress. I'm hearing casual dresser, loved flowers and nature. And I feel like you're a Zennial from, that's 1977 to 1983, so 46 to 40 years old, around that age. And this also has to do with a 70s kid, so maybe you have a sibling that was born in the 70s, and you, because Zennial is right between the 70s and the right before the 90s. And I'm also hearing Holocaust survivor victim, and this is a royal bloodline, and they're showing me a lot of water elements, which is Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And I'm hearing white collar worker, which is like a desk work office job person, attorney, police officer, teacher, accountant, electrician. I'm hearing a big emphasis on electrician, real estate agent, insurance agent, and a bank worker. Very stern and direct and closed-minded. I feel like that is the electrician they're talking about. They're also showing me a retail worker, so these are descriptions of your grandparents. So if this is resonating, it's not to convince you that this is your reading, but it is, start looking into things. That's why Spirit shows you synchronicities, because there's no such thing as coincidences, but if you don't know something, how would it come across your mind that it's even true? That's how, and synchronicities usually come in threes. Spirit speaks in threes, because if that's how your brain picks up that it's like something important that you need to know. So if you've been hearing something that I've been telling you, and this is repeating on here, this is definitely your confirmation. And they're also showing me right now in your love life, they're saying, is this a love or is it attachment trauma? They're showing me a water sign that was a toxic, it's either you're in a relationship with a toxic water sign, Scorpio or Cancer or Pisces, or you were previously in one and it's like you were addicted to this person. But I'm hearing love can't conquer without wisdom. And they're showing me Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood. So you need to know, are you doing this out of love or obligation? And they're saying no stops the cycle. And I'm hearing that song from Post Malone. Oh, you think you're better now, better now. It's only 'cause I'm not around, not around. So that connects to somebody out there. And they're showing me Jay-Z and Beyonce. Maybe you felt like that when you were with this person. You guys, Bonnie and Clyde, I'm also hearing, like you felt like you ran stuff. But in the end, it was just a toxic relationship, and this person was a narcissist, and that person is slowly falling from fame. So if you've already distanced yourself from this person, that person's really having a blow up, and not a glow up, a blow up of karmic towers that are falling in their life. But Spirit wants you to know that there's a lot of denial surrounding this karmic situation. There was a lot of, it stems from this denial that your grandmother had around this karmic relationship and your birth. And a big thing is, don't wait for a last convo, because a snake is a snake. So sometimes we think we need to just talk to that person one more time, and really, I've learned, why talk to that person one more time so I can give them one more chance to tell me one more lie, because a liar is always a liar. And now it's just a habit, and now they don't even know how to tell the truth. So don't expect somebody just because you corner them to tell you the truth. I did that one morning. I picked somebody up, I cornered them, I I broke down. I told them what the business was. And they still lied. And then they still invited me in like nothing was wrong. I was like, this is a worthless conversation. I just poured my heart out and you still don't get it, or you just don't choose to get it. So maybe somebody needs to hear that out there, that one last conversation is not going to be a saving grace for you. They do love kicking it with you, but I'm also seeing Penny from the Big Bang Theory, and they love your company, but it's unrequited love, because on that show she was very confused because she's very pretty. She always had company with her, but when she really needed somebody, Leonard was the only one around. But she didn't really like him at first because he wasn't tall, dark, and handsome. And so it's like you need to change who you're going for, because I've learned the ones that are hotter than fish grease that come in front of me, I'm like, yeah, I tell them keep moving because I don't trust it. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but 9 times out of 10, they're hiding a lot of stuff underneath that perfect facade on the outside. And I feel like a lot of you can concur with me if you've been in a toxic relationship. You know, I always say the devil's not going to come with horns and a tail. He comes in a 3-piece suit, looking fabulous, smelling good, and making you addicted to them. And then all of a sudden, a couple months into it, you're in a nightmare. And sometimes you don't even learn it till you're like 5 years into it. And then all of a sudden you thought you built your life up with this perfect person, and they've been hanging out, getting close with their secretary at work. So I'm seeing that show. I can't even, Angela Bassett. Oh, what is that movie? It's not Set It Off, it's the other one where she blows up the the mansion. And it's got Whitney Houston in it. I can't believe I can't think of the name of that movie right now. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, anyways, I can't think of it right now. So know that I'm seeing it. Waiting to Exhale, that's what it is. Waiting to Exhale. That's the I feel like that movie resonates with a few of you out here. So if that's the movie resonating, then this is your confirmation. It's not to beat up on you, but know that you were born out of a karmic relationship that nobody knows about, and therefore that's what's affecting your love life here. So if you want to clean up your love life, first you need to heal this wound, and it comes from this grandparent right here, this grandmother. You have to heal that lineage wound, and therefore then you can heal your wound. So let me know how this message resonated with you. I do have a angel shadow book that I created with prayers, and helps you connect with the angels. Archangel Chamuel's the biggest archangel of love, that unconditional love. You haven't been shown unconditional love your whole life. I feel like a lot of you have issues with your mom. You go back and forth with her. Now that she's older, you're just like, maybe I'll just let it be, but you have to heal this issue. You can always just, I'm saying you have a choice to front them out, or you can just keep it to yourself, but you need to know the business and let the universe front them out, because they're going to be fronted out either way. But you don't want to have to come back and relive this karmic lesson, especially if you've already been in a toxic relationship. I'm hearing a lot of you barely made it out of your toxic relationship with your life. So this is confirmation that this is what you need to heal, not just so you can go get a new boo thing, but so that your children don't have to go through it, especially your daughters. And your sons can even go through it, because they're going to end up attracting this karmic female. And if you have a son out there that has a unhinged wife or girlfriend, and you're just like, I can't stand her. Well, this is where that karmic relationship also came through. So I'm definitely hearing it's going to be healed. Things are coming to the surface, but this is like your pre-warning right here that it's all about you to bring it out of the shadows and see. Here's that purple dress I was talking about. Having rest. You need to have rest, and you need to not have this all go through your mind. This has to do something with feel like you have a family member that's got air sign. So even Gemini, Aquarius, I think Libra is the other one. They have an issue in this too. So you need to get some rest. You need to release this. And I'm hearing you need to get your flowers. And I love this. They're showing me you're going to be getting your flowers of this. So if you've been trying to figure this out for a while and you couldn't figure it out, answers are coming for you. You're definitely, and they're also showing me one last thing is that it is coming from this, the earth sign is also I feel like this is a grandfather. This is also part of the puzzle, and they were an earth sign. See that 3-piece suit? And mooses are very pertinent to this as well. So because I feel like you're going to get some kind of coin out of this when you do bring all this, because also you have that parent who is in this karmic relationship. So it's like if you were the one that had an aunt that was pretending to be your mom this whole time, and it was actually her sister that had you, she cut you out of things that you were supposed to have. There was money that was supposed to come to you when you were in your mid-20s, or if you're about to hit your mid-20s, late 20s. They took this guardianship over you, and that's why you haven't got it. So that's also another reason to go down the rabbit hole. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. I hope you enjoyed this message. Definitely click the link in the bio if you want to get a copy of my shadow healing guide, and it's the angel shadow healing guide, and it's on a donation basis through Prophetic Ministry of Light, which is my church that I've created. So definitely let me know. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Love and light, beautiful souls. Have a wonderful day.